Hey there, vinyl community. My name's Tom. You're watching High Rant District. I wasn't really going to make a vinyl video today, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the National Hockey League. But I figure, all right, let me talk about a record so this can be a vinyl community video. So I was listening the other day to Starfish, fifth album by The Church. This came out in 1988, I think. I think it's from 88. I'm going with that. So, it's an album that's getting talked about a little bit right now because Intervention Records, the audiophile label, is coming out with a reissue. I have a good copy. I don't need a reissue. This is a copy from, it's an original on Australian copy on Mushroom Records. Yeah. It's on Mushroom Records. Here's what the label looks like. Pretty much the same on the back. So it was this was a breakthrough record for the band. Got them some notice outside of Australia. And I dug it right when it came out. But I guess my question is, I guess my statement is that I feel like this is one of those albums from my younger days that don't really hold up. Some albums, there's a lot of classic records that have staying power, that can be relevant to new listeners today. I don't know that this is one of them. It's got a lot of good songs on it. I dug the album. It's not as gripping to me today as it was, back in the day. Under the Milky Way is a well-known song. Spark, Reptile's another, Reptile's a really good song. But there's a track list, came with, inner sleeve, has a starfish on it, and then a bunch of words. Not too many words. There's band lineup. But, it just feels like one of those albums that just does not have a timeless quality to it that many other records do. If you listen to Hendrix, it's kind of timeless. If you listen to Sex Pistols, timeless. Early Clash, timeless. But a better band to me than The Church, that has the same thing where it's in their day they were, revered, but I don't think it's as timeless. One of those bands is the Smiths. It's one of those bands that nobody really talks about. I dug the Smiths back in the day, and I still dig them now. I have a bunch of their records, but I don't know that anybody new is really coming to the Smiths and going, oh wow. I don't know that anybody's really coming to the Church new and going, oh wow. It's Intervention Records is kind of funny. It's an audiophile label. I bought one Joe Jackson record on Intervention Records. It sounded fine. The label was so far off center that I didn't want to play it. I didn't want the stylus to run into the label and ruin my stylus. So I ended up selling it on, and I disclosed to whoever the buyer was that, I had that problem. I'm not fucking anybody over. But, so that was the first and only record I got from Intervention Records. But Intervention, in the audiophile world, Intervention Records kind of has a niche to me of okay pop records. They're not doing anything that's blowing anybody's, socks off their feet. But they do have a version of this coming out. The version that they're going to put out is going to be a double album. This is a single. Double album will have extras. I cannot stand when a good quality reissue comes out with extras. I don't need the extras. Put the extras on a CD or make another version that has extras. I just want to if I don't have the original of an album, or if it's out of my price range and I just want to have a copy of it, just make a really good copy of the album as it was made. Don't need all the extras. Anyway, and again, I love the Smiths. but I don't think they're a timeless band. Those albums are not timeless. They just don't carry they wouldn't carry the weight with a brand new listener that I think maybe like the Doors, the Pistols, the Clash, a band like that might. Or, any heavy hitters from other genres. Anyway, the real thing I wanted to go on about was the National Hockey League. And I don't know that this just applies to the National Hockey League, but in my opinion, I just wish there was no salary cap in the National Hockey League. I think the salary cap this year was $81.5 million per team, and it's a fixed amount. So that's how much you can spend on salaries. Now, the ways around salary caps, besides being Tampa Bay Lightning and stashing people on long-term injured reserve, and then bringing them back magically to lead the playoffs in scoring starting on game 1 of the playoffs, which is definitely not cap circumvention, because the NHL can't call it cap circumvention, because even though it really is cheating, they let the Chicago Blackhawks get away with it because the worst family are powerful people who own Blackhawks, and so they couldn't go against them. So they had to let that whole Patrick Kane coming back just for the playoffs thing when the Chicago was winning cups. They had to let that slide, so they got to let Tampa Bay slide. Anyway, and it's not, my team's the Islanders. I don't really have sour grapes about the whole salary cap thing. Things are what they are. And one way to overcome a salary cap is there's generally no salary cap on support staff and coaching. You can spend whatever the fuck you want on coaches, and the Islanders have chosen to hire a really good coach, really good GM, assistants, goalie coaches. So that carries a lot. Scouting is a big deal. Like if you're Buffalo Sabres, firing your scouting staff for the most part was idiotic, and that's why I lived in Buffalo for a long time, but the Buffalo Sabres probably not going anywhere anytime soon. I mean, performance-wise. What the fuck was I going on about? Oh, the salary cap. Well, the problem with a salary cap in the National Hockey League, and it probably relates to other sports, but I'm really talking about the NHL, is that it hinders teams in states or countries that have heavy tax burdens. So, a place like Tampa Bay or Las Vegas or Dallas, Texas, places with no income taxes and very low other forms of taxes, have a huge advantage in trying to sign players and free agents and attracting them to go play for them. You can pay like a $5.7 million to a Braden Point, you can pay $5.7 million of your $81.5 million cap towards a Braden Point. I don't know, I think that's roughly what he makes, don't quote me on it. Whereas, so Braden Point gets that, and that's in a no state income tax state. So that's at least, another team has to pay him at least 10% more, and if not more, to compensate for other taxes that maybe like property taxes, mortgage write-offs you can do in some places and not others. But like a team in Canada, team in New York State, team in other places that have taxes can't compete if they have an $81.5 million cap, and this other team has an $81.5 million cap, because the entire $81.5 million in Florida and Texas and Nevada are all not being taxed by state taxes. So other teams really need their salary cap to be 10%, or in Canada even more, higher than the cap in other states. So really, I would just say just get rid of the salary cap. There shouldn't be one. It really is an advantage that just teams in Canada can't compete with, and teams in states with high income taxes, you just really can't compete with, man. You got to get lucky. Props to the Montreal Canadiens. Sorry, Bobby, I know you hate the Habs, but I hope they beat Tampa. I don't think it's likely, but Montreal is it's a hockey city. Tampa Bay is not. I'd like to see Montreal win. Anyway, enough babbling. I wasn't really going to go in this direction, but as soon as I stopped recording, I had just popped over to YouTube real quick, and I saw Charles Nelson Riley, the guy who looks like Charles Nelson Riley, talking about new super duper super deluxe edition box that's coming out. And I just saw the headline. I was like, man, we need a salary cap for the vinyl community. As it is, I already try to shy away from talking about whether something's new to me or something I've had for a long time when I show records, because I feel like there's absolutely an arms war going on for a lot of the vinyl community. The money I see being spent, I mean, if you got it, I mean, do what makes you happy. But man, I think just like some of these videos that you see maybe like drive people into buying things they don't really necessarily need to. I mean, it's like, I mean, these limited edition, like MoFi records, essentially, you know, they come out for sale and they're gone. Same with, you know, certain limited edition audiophile records. For all intents and purposes, those are Beanie Babies. Those are Cabbage Patch Kids. They're just people. I think a lot of people are buying them because they're limited edition. Like, do you care about the music? You know, it's spending a lot of money is not necessary for having a good time with music. It's just not. So I would love to see a salary cap for the vinyl community, where you can only spend a certain amount of money per month on records, and then just, you know, see what everybody can do. That would be fun. This used to be more fun than it is now, and maybe I'm just in a little bit of a funk or in a bit of a mood, just talking about salary caps in hockey. But salary cap for the vinyl community, not a bad idea. Now, like the NHL, you could spend more money on your gear, but on the records themselves, there should be a cap. Oh, one more thing. I probably would have shown more records. I didn't really feel like making a vinyl video. It's like it's over 100 degrees. I'm in Portland, Oregon. Over 100 degrees right now. It's going to top out around 112 today. It was over 100 yesterday, and then tomorrow, which is Monday, I think it's supposed to hit 115 degrees Fahrenheit. And yesterday was a record high day for Portland, Oregon. Pacific Northwest is not supposed to be this hot. So it's crazy times, man. I'm gonna move to Alaska or something. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you later.